I have no idea why that repeated. But hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome. I hope you guys are having an excellent weekend with the AWC and all of the presentations. There's been some great information. And why is my camera fuzzy again? It's fine. If everyone is okay with that, it's okay with me. All right. But all right, let's go ahead and get started because I held back a little bit because always love listening to Nate explain later press is fantastic. Hi everyone. Welcome again. My name is Devon. I write fantasy and steampunk with snarky female leads and a splash of romance. I'm also the founder of All Call Indie, which is a database of freelancers for indie authors, and of course the publicity chair for the AuthorTube Writing Conference. Um, Another huge thanks to our banner sponsor this year, A Later Press, and to WTC Creatives, who has done my author website and revamped All Call Indie website for me. I'd also like to thank my wonderful moderators for assisting me. And I'm going to save all the questions for the end. This is mostly a live presentation. I have some pre-recorded screenshots that I'm going to throw up. Why are we here today? So I find myself struggling with ads, with going wide. My book, The Witch's Crystal, is everywhere, but I've sold more copies staying local to local bookstores than I have online, truthfully. So let me say a quick hello to everyone. Oh, there's so many people here today. Thank you so much. Shelly, hello. Yes, my newsletter. Don't forget to sign up for my snippets and spoilers newsletter. Sam, hi. Hello, Adara. Hello, 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 Mama Maggie. Oh, I hope you enjoy it. All right. There's a lot here, so thank you, everyone. Hi, SD. And Heather. Oh, thank you. It was definitely a work in progress to get this set up. All right, I'm going to close that real quick. So, again, I'm not going to talk about going viral, spending money on ads, nothing like that. It's going to be all about local, finding your local bookstores, finding the book conventions that are closest to you, because as an indie author, we can't always travel to all of the events as much as we want to. Even as readers, it's a little hard. And how to get your books into libraries the right way and not just do a Google search. And also there is a PDF attached to the description that has all of the links, everything I'm going to discuss. So please definitely enjoy that. Now, let me switch over to my slides. Oh, nope, wrong button. All right, so number one, first stop, bookstores. Has been the easiest for me to get my books in there. So far, I've had my books into two shops and have sold more copies than I've sold on Amazon and Barnes and Noble combined. And the best way to find those bookstores, of course, you can do a Google search. But I have found more bookstores using this website, indiebound.org. So you can just type in your city, and I'm just going to use my city, Jacksonville, and it brings up more than what's in Florida and around. It goes all the way up into Georgia. When you click on any of those little buttons, it'll bring you to those bookstores. Now, for me, Savannah is about a 2-hour drive, so I could take a day trip, throw a couple books in my bag to show the bookstore owners. And I want to say the most difficult part with approaching managers or just other people is I am an introvert. I get very nervous talking to people, not that kind of salesperson where I can go up and just say, "Hi, my name's Devon. I write books. Do you want my book?" I can't do that. So I usually have someone with me, either my husband or a friend or my older son who's more outgoing. But pause that real quick. IndieBound is also partnered with bookshop.org. And if your book is already in Ingram Spark, then your book already shows up in the database for bookshop.org. Another one is bookshop.org for ebooks. And as far as I'm aware, it's only available in the UK and the US. But since this is still fairly new, I don't see it a problem with it expanding into other countries as well. So yeah, there's my book. It's already available. I do not have my book on Ingram Spark as an EPUB yet. Let's see. There is a full frequently asked questions support for bookshop.org if you have any questions. And when I emailed, they got back to me pretty darn quickly. Let's see. I'm also going to share some of the, speed that up just a little bit. So after bookshop.org, Barnes & Noble has adopted an indie bookstore mentality. So you can go in and speak to a manager, and Books A Million, if there's one local to you or not even local, has an easy sign up thing to get your book in there. Have not done that yet. It's next on my to-do list. Now, this bookstore that I'm showing you right here is local to me, Happy Medium Books. They have author signings, several book clubs. And when you go down to their frequently asked questions, the first thing that pops up is that local author section. It gives you everything that you need to know, and they do ask if you are interested in book signings or book events for your books up front. Another one to check out is Second and Charles. There's not too much information on Second and Charles for how to go through, but it is a buy, sell, trade store. This other local bookshop to me has their contract online ready for me to fill out and email back to them, which is fantastic. Most of the indie bookstores seem to have this model to support the local indie authors. Doesn't hurt to check it out. And like I said, introvert here, I prefer to do everything online versus going in. But the bookstores, the 2 bookstores that I have my books in, I did go in and speak to the manager. Very easy up front. Contract signed right then and there. I took my books in with me. They flipped through it. One of them took 3 copies on the first visit, and I just had to go back and check. The one I had a contract to, I had to check back every 30 days because if my copies weren't sold in a specific amount of time, they would get destroyed. Now, Books A Million, if you have copies that they order through Ingram Spark and they're not sold, they are donated to Books for Troops or another local charity. They won't destroy. I do believe Barnes & Noble will destroy books as well. It's probably somewhere on their website. Next up is libraries. Now, I tried doing a Google search about every other month or so to see how to get my books in the library. Nothing was really helpful. And my local library website didn't have much direction in that either. So I walked in. As I was checking out books at the library, I asked the people behind the counter, like, hey, I am a local author. How can I get my book in here? And they directed me to the county library website. Let me see if I can find that spot. So I cannot find that exact spot. So the local library, I went to the bottom of the page and they had this indie author project for my library system. And I'm probably moving way too fast. Another good source of information is this video on how to get your books into libraries. And this also covers libraries in Canada and the UK, I believe. And that is by Book Launchers. Sorry for all the silence. I think my internet is glitching. We have a thunderstorm going on right now. So this is the county library system. So I had my slides a little backwards. Sorry about that. So you can have, if you're published on Draft to Digital, definitely click on the Libby and Overdrive one to publish your books, because then it's automatically available in the library system. And then go down to the bottom of your local county library page, click on the FAQ. And again, if you don't see anything in here, you can always go to your main library and ask them for a direct website or link, email to get to where you need to go. And there's actually a spotlight for local indie authors for my public library system. And it doesn't just stop at my city, but it expands into surrounding counties as well. So I think I've covered all of the library things. It was much simpler than I thought it was going to be. You still need to build the hype. You still need to have your readers request your book in your library, but you want to make sure the library is ready for your book as well. All right, the next one, and this is the one that I am most excited about, the conventions and fairs. I haven't attended any conventions or fairs as a vendor, but I've been to many as a reader, and it's so much fun. Keynote, when you go to these events, take pictures of the author's table. See what kind of swag they have for their books, what kind of banners they have for the books. You can definitely tell the introverted authors from the extroverted ones because they are more hesitant to reach out and say hello. But I did learn a lot from those few who were hesitant. And again, most of the time their swag and their table displays bring the readers in for excitement to spark the conversation. When you're going to look for book fairs and festivals by state, this link from the Writer's Digest is updated constantly. So even though the published date says 2013, there are 2025 dates in there. I think there's already a few for 2026. So you just want to make sure that those list of book fairs and festivals are within, more of driving, acceptable driving distance. I already have quite a few on my list. Tips for these: visit the events in person first before you apply. Apply as early as you can. So if you know that the next sci-fi fantasy convention is happening next month. Put that link for the application in your calendar for the day after to apply. And definitely match your genre. You don't want to show up to a Ren Fair with a urban paranormal fantasy book. This website has all of the Ren Fairs if your book falls within that category. Mine does fall within this category, and I know a few of my fellow authors can also sell books at Ren Fairs. And so far, the Ren Fairs have been the easiest to apply to, more so than the conventions, because I did apply for a couple of conventions but wasn't accepted. And we'll get back to that in a minute when we go over sell sheets, press kits, and media kits. But yeah, this one I was just browsing through and showing some of the fairs and festivals within that state. So I'm going to pause this right here real quick as we go into media kits. Now, if you were with us last night for WTC Creatives, when he showed this media kit, it is a one-stop shop for vendors. And I reached out to Rachel and I asked her, hey, why am I not getting accepted into these events? And she said, well, you want to have like a mock stand set up to add to your media kit. And I had no idea what a media kit was. And then she directed me to her website. So a media kit, you want professional headshots, your bio, how people can reach you, where you've been in the media. So if you had an author interview on a podcast or a YouTube channel, you want to show your social media accounts and list your books. Now, the best part about her media kit is her books are linked, so anyone who clicks on it can take them directly to those individual books. So, last minute side notes. I get the best responses walking in or calling a manager or the person in charge of the displays. You want to be clear and concise and polite in any other correspondence, such as email, and definitely keep track of your application deadlines and the shop's policies. And don't take rejections personally, because you have to think that these indie stores, they're limited on space, timing. Some of these bookstores have themes, so I would suggest that my epic fantasy won't be in any of the stores that are heavily promoting romance in the month of February. Don't be upset about any of those. All right, I think I have covered everything, and by any means, if anyone has any experience in any of these fields, please share. And definitely share, because I'm still new at this. I'm still nervous at this. I'm getting ready to purchase all of the banners and fun goodies so I can set up my mock table in my backyard to take a picture and building a media kit. All right, so let's go through and check out some questions. Yay, Margaret, thank you for stopping on. Oh yeah, you wouldn't believe the bookstores. There is a bookstore here that only caters to female authors, and she has a shack set up behind her house. It is adorable. Yeah, Second and Charles is fantastic. Oh, some of these bookstores that I have visited want to see your book. So when you go in, have a mock copy with you so they can touch it, feel it, flip through it. Like I said, that's how I got into one of the other little bookstores. Introverts unite, yes. Mentally prepare for the week, just go into one indie. Yes, yes. I go into one indie bookstore to talk about my book once a week. And it takes me a couple trips to actually like, hi, here's my book. Yes, the Indie Author Project. Book Launcher's helpful video has a lot of good information. You should see my notes pages on that. Oh, yay, that's so fun. Velusa, yes. Yeah. Draft to digital is fantastic, especially if your library is small. So I have two close libraries, and one of them is really tiny. There is zero shelf space. I cannot talk. Yes, Jacksonville definitely. Jacksonville is highly artistic. They've got the Midnight Art Walk, which I've also thought about putting a table there, but we'll see. We'll see. The River Walk, that's what it's called. Yes, Biblioboard, another library tool for your books. 30 libraries in the county, and there is a county library, but each library is independent operated. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Learn from local conventions. Have candy. Yes, yes. You wouldn't believe a lot of the romance authors have a bowl of chocolates, but they're, what is it, custom wrapped. So they have quotes from their characters on these wrappers. It's too cute. Yes, science fiction fantasy cons have quite the specific audience. Yes. And then there's the Ren Fair. Jinx. Yes. Oh, so I didn't know that I could sell books at Ren Fairs until Rachel Adams shared her experience at the Ren Fair. And FYI, she sold out and didn't have enough books at the end of that weekend. Push back in the booth so you're out in front of the table. Don't put. Yes. I have heard that does a most that for the Ren fairs and stuff. Yes. Most of the book conventions, they want the readers not to be behind the tables. At least the conventions that I have been to. Yes. Thank you, Jocelyn. Yep, still need a media kit, and you are most welcome. One of your friends created scented soaps. Think about doing a line of soaps based on characters. Yes, yes. I am actually thinking of the same thing, and I just found a soap maker here that I'm going to reach out to eventually. Oh, thank you, Heather. That is a website I have not seen. Everybody make sure you note this down. What's your characters that smell yogurt? Yeah, so I had my I had a couple of my books in a comic book shop before he decided to not do books anymore. And I didn't get consignment on those books, but I did get a credit for those comics. So however much a book sold, I would get that amount um, for comics. So I made sure that me and my son had plenty of reading material. Getting a major redo of branding. Yes. Thank you, Shelley. Done vending at a few cons this year. It's a lot, but also fun. Very much so. I feel like I will need a rest, a recoup after each day, and it'll probably be a struggle if it's like a long weekend event. Which bookstore? The comic book store? Oh, this was comment was 5 minutes ago. Yeah, let me know which bookstore you mean. There's literally like dozens. Oh, and if you're anywhere near Heather, it's like the bookstore capital of Florida. There's a ton of indie bookstores in Tampa. Oh, that is so sad. There's got to be at least a few, though. Oh, the one that caters to the ladies. Femme Fatale Books, I believe, is the name. It might be in the PDF as well. I might have added it to the PDF. If I haven't, let me know and I can grab that. Imagine like smelly socks and sweat. Not likely to be high seller. Oh, that's awesome. Love it when an indie bookstore just gets, good at it. Yes, so I have been told that I can walk into the library and donate my book to it, which is what I will most likely probably be doing. They do. We do get the best music here. We still have to work on the Florida AuthorTubers, yes. Definitely learning to be intentional as a fellow introvert. Yeah. Indie author book clubs with 50 miles of your location. Less than 50 miles, truthfully. Had the Happy Medium Books has 3 book clubs under its roof. And I think one is romance, another is fantasy sci-fi, and I think the third one is a horror book club. Colleges have, yes, they do have bookstores and might entertain author events, especially if you graduated there. So I have contacted the college alumni. That's amazing. Congratulations. I'll have to keep that in mind. Thank you for sharing. I have not spoken to a book group outside of the author involved book groups, and most of the author involved book groups are nonfiction craft books. I might consider it, but again, there's that going in front of people. Like, I am not ready for book signings at all. Even the thought of it has like my anxiety up high. The thought of conventions has my anxiety up high, but I've already recruited 2 friends to keep me on track and to talk for me. So yes, yeah, small rural counties usually have single library systems. Get into it, and you can be in 3 to 4 different county libraries at once. Absolutely. So my county is one of the larger counties, but in the specs of the library system, it involves up to, I think it said 10 surrounding counties. So if I get my book into my county, it will also be available to the other counties. Yes, Heather is in Florida too. LitFest has candy bowls as well. It looks like a must perk, yeah. One friend had a deck of cards that in her series, as well as candy. I'm considering in my approach once my media kit is completed and I have it up on my website to, of course, apply for the literary festivals. Literary festivals are not the same as conventions. I don't think I've been to a literary festival in a while, so I'll have to check it out to see what their setup is, because I don't think they have all of the swag and stuff that conventions would like you to have. Yeah, more likely to stop if you're in front of the table. Yes. Yeah. Vended. Yep, I meant what you knew. Tarot cards, lip balms, so many other things. Orlando reads books the year. Yeah. And I do plan on attending Orlando reads books one of these years. Yeah, a lot of indie bookstores. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Femme Fatale books, but I will definitely get that. Oh, Heather, there is a Instagram channel that tours all the bookstores of Florida. And that's how I found out that there were more indie bookstores in Tampa than anywhere else in Florida. It's very good. Yep, I've seen that one too. Also in Florida, but far from most in the Panhandle, right? Panhandle is a little more scarce. I always had candy at my table with organic, sustainably made since it fit. That's good. Yes, definitely have it fit your theme. Yeah, I don't know too many people who don't like candy. Ah, yes, there is my Instagram. All right, everyone. Wow, that went faster than I thought. Let me tell you, it's way different when you're. I've been researching this for well over 6 months, trying to make sure I had everything because I'm a huge planner. I have my favorite bulleted list of all the things to do in order that they need to go in. um, so, yeah, 6 months worth of research into 36 minutes. Does anyone have any other questions, or do you have experience you would like to share? Let me know. I'll wait for those. Oh no, it's denied. Let me fix that after the stream. I will make a note to fix that PDF. Thank you, Shanon. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm glad it was helpful because let me tell you, I've been trying to get into the library for a long time. I've even had people request my books, but I didn't know that my library had to go through the county to do it. Okay. All right. I will definitely get that PDF fixed. It should have just been ready for download. Thank you, Shanon. Oh, so I guess in terms of numbers, my book, The Witch's Crystal, was published in 2023, and up to date, as of the earliest that I could look, I have sold 35 copies on Amazon. I have sold 50 in 4 months at local indie bookstores. And the consignment depends on the bookstore, and like I said, some of them only have donated books, and some of them don't do consignment. So for consignment for my books, it was better. You are welcome, Kevin. Thank you for stopping in. I also have a local author group here that we met up. I met through NaNoWriMo, and one of them also religiously goes to the literary lounge and does signings. It's fantastic. She's an amazing writer. Thank you, Heather. Yes, don't forget anthology submissions is now open. All right, I think that is everything. I'm going to wait a couple more seconds to see if anything else pops up into the chat. Oh, don't even. You could always go back for all of the playlists and everything, and don't worry. Aw. You're welcome, Felicia. Yes, we still have the closing session, which is after this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hop off, and I'm going to fix that PDF before we get into the closing session. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Thank you again for my lovely moderators, and to Later Press and WTC Creatives. And again, if you want to go to my website and click on short stories, all of my short story collections are free. I will be uploading the 2025 collection in December or January. I just have to make sure that those stories get edited before I make them live. And yes, Manic Monday is tomorrow for all of the giveaway prizes. Thank you, Jocelyn, for coming in. You're welcome, Shelley. I've got makeup on and everything, Shannon. Yay. Yes, see you at the wrap up. All right, everyone. I will catch you later. Oh, that's the wrong one.